Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of This Week in the ACCC. I'm Robert Williamson. We'll check out scores that happened since the game of the week on Thursday. Also take a look at the latest standings in the North and South Division of the ACCC. And, well, we've already looked at the latest NJCAA basketball polls, but let's take another peek at the top 25. We'll start with the ladies right after we come back from the break on This Week in the ACCC. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to This Week in the ACCC. I'm Robert Williamson. What about the latest scores for the ladies in the division? How about a Snead State Community College win 74-53 over Southern Union? It was Shelton State in the game of the week last week here on the ACCC Sports Network. A 73-47 victory over Wallace State Hansville. Sierra Johnson didn't necessarily have her best game of the year, but still led all scorers with 18. LBW a 71-64 winner over Wallace Community College and Selma. Courtney Hill chipped in 17 for the winning Lady Saints. Lawson State Community College 84, Gadsden State 73. 5 double-digit scores for Lawson State in that victory. Alabama Southern Community College, they knock off Faulkner State by a final of 86-75. A couple of top scores. Shamina Hunter had 23 for Alabama Southern, and Peyton Kaiser finished with 22. And it was Delgado Community College out of Louisiana on Saturday beating Faulkner State by a final of 61-58. Well, that gives us a much better look at how the standings are in both the North and South Division of the ACCC. In the North, Shelton State, winners of 5 in a row, the only unbeaten squad at 2-0. Meanwhile, Lawson State and Wallace State Hansville, both with 2-1 marks, and there you see the rest of the North Division. Heading down to the South Division, Alabama Southern maybe 7-10 overall, but they are 4-0 in conference play, and that's what matters, and it's got them atop the standings. Chat Valley is 3-0, and then, of course, you got LBW at 2-1, everybody else at or below the 500 mark in conference play. The latest NJCAA basketball polls, we took a look at those on Thursday during that edition of This Week in the ACCC. They haven't changed since then. But let's take another peek at the top 25. Odessa, the number 1 team. Gulf Coast State was 1. They lost to Tallahassee, dropped from the 1 spot. Meanwhile, Chipola, whose only loss in the year is to number 2, Gulf Coast, is currently the number 3 squad. By the way, that Gulf Coast State team that wound up losing to Tallahassee, I think they have sought and gotten revenge, faced a couple of highly ranked squads out of the Panhandle Conference and routed both Northwest Florida State and Pensacola State. Meanwhile, as far as the ACCC is concerned, 1 team in the top 25. There you see it, perched at 13, Shelton State. When we come back, let's take a look at scores for the men. We'll also do the same. The division standings, the NJCAA polls for the guys, too, all after the break here on the ACCC Sports Network.
Infield kicks it in, 40, got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Right here,
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to This Week in the ACCC. Now it's time to see how the men have fared over the course of the last few days. Jefferson Davis Community College, a 70-68 winner over Chattahoochee Valley. 5 double-digit scores, not for Jefferson Davis, for Chat Valley, but it was Jefferson Davis coming away with a victory. Marion Military Institute wins their 8th in a row, a 74-66 win over West Georgia Tech. Marion Military had to overcome a 6-point deficit at halftime to capture their 8th straight victory. Wallace State Community College at Hansville pulling off the upset. It was the game of the week here on the ACCC Sports Network. 70-63 the final score, and Jalen McCoy had the hot hand. 28 points for the Lions. Lawson State Community College, an 85-78 winner over Gadsden State. Zachary Jackson finishing with 22 to lead the Cougars. Snead State Community College, a 97-84 winner over Southern Union Community College. A couple of doubles for Charles Davis and also for Ryan Dupree in that Snead State win. LBW, a 56-55 winner over Wallace State Community College and Selma. It was Landis Horton finishing with 20 for the Saints. Alabama Southern Community College, 116-92 winners over Faulkner State. And then on Saturday, it was Lawson State beating Chattahoochee Valley 84-69. Arthur Johnson with 27 in that one for Lawson State. Meanwhile, Faulkner State beating Delgado Community College and of Louisiana by a final of 74-70. So after about a week and a half in conference play, let's take a look at those standings and see how teams are faring in the North. You got a couple of unbeatens. Lawson State, ironically, 7-11 overall. But where it matters in conference play, they are unbeaten at 3-0. Marion Military, with that sparkling mark and a pretty high national ranking, is number 2 in the conference, but still unbeaten at 2-0. By the way, those two teams will face one another on the 2nd of February. Wallace State Hansville at 2-1, and there is the rest of the North Division. Heading down to the South, Alabama Southern, the only unbeaten squad. They are 4-0 in conference play. And then, of course, Bishop State and Jefferson Davis with a loss apiece. Well, again, we took last week a look at the latest NJCAA Top 25 polls, but let's do it again. And you'll see that South Plains is the number 1 team in the nation, but Hutchinson and Georgia Highlands sporting the same record at 17-0, and they represent the 1, 2, and 3 teams in the nation and have been there in those spots for a while now. While we're talking about unbeaten teams, you've still got unbeaten teams in those national rankings at the 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 spot. As far as the ACCC squads in the top 25, Marion Military Institute, they are at 18, at 23 Shelton State, but we expect when the new polls come out on Tuesday that Shelton State will drop from the rankings after their loss to Wallace State Hansville. So there you have it, polls. When we come back, let's take a look at what lies ahead. Got games of the week coming up, and plus we'll talk about baseball and softball. It's not far away, all after the break on the ACCC Sports Network. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to This Week in the ACCC, our final segment. That's when we promote the next upcoming ACCC Game of the Week. A little bit of a change in the schedule. On the 4th of February, we head down to Bay Minette, Alabama, as Faulkner State will play host to Lawson State. 2 o'clock start time for the ladies, and the men will follow at about 4:30 or so we'll have the live coverage for you, obviously right here on the ACCC Sports Network. I mentioned baseball and softball, still working on the schedule. We do know that our coverage will start after the basketball state tournament, so somewhere around the 13th, 14th, maybe 15th of March, we will begin coverage of baseball and softball, but still trying to iron out the details as to who and when, and we'll have that for you shortly. Don't forget before we go that we would love to have you as a friend on Facebook, a follower on Twitter. We get you all kinds of info, scores, where we're going, what happened once we got there, and so much more. It's only if you follow us on Twitter and if you befriend us on Facebook, so please do that. And don't you dare forget to do this. Join us again next week, for This Week in the ACCC. I'm Robert Williamson. Your producer has been James Crenshaw, and we will see you in Bay Minette about a week from now.